Hello and welcome again, everybody, to the 10 to 1, a high-speed daily update segment reeling in all things fishing in 10 minutes or less right here in one spot. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, and again, I am super excited to be with all of you guys again today. So today, I want to talk a little bit about kayaks in general. With so many different varieties of kayaks on the market and new manufacturers jumping into the mix, the same old question remains. What is the right kayak for me? What's the best kayak? What kayak should I go buy? So many different questions in that one little question. To help everybody out, something that I have used for the last couple months as a referral guide, I found on Kayak Angler Magazine. Writer Rick Burnley published an article back in fall of 2021, and the article was a really good guide, something that I saved and something that I remembered because I get asked so many times, hey, can you recommend a kayak? Or hey, what's the right kayak for me? And referring back to that article as a great guide to help someone get started, Rick proposes the 5 questions to ask yourself before buying a kayak. And I'd like to share his questions right now because, again, I've used these as examples. And for anyone in the kayak community, this is a great source of information to use not only for yourself, but for you to be able to share to other friends, family members, people that see you in your kayak, things that you can advise them to do when they're out shopping for their own kayak. Question number 1, how does the kayak fit? Kayaks are not all one-size-fits-all molds. Height and weight plays a big role in selecting the right kayak that best suits you. For example, a larger angler may feel more comfortable in a wider kayak, while a shorter angler looks for maybe more of a more narrower boat. Smaller, lighter paddlers may prefer to paddle, while larger, heavier kayaks may want to go farther with less effort by adapting to pedals or to motors. So these are some variables that you need to think of when fitting into your kayak. How do you want to use that? Question number 2, is the seat comfortable? Being comfortable and able to sit for long periods of time is a must for not only the leisure kayaker, but most certainly the tournament kayaker, somebody that's going to be spending hours at a time sitting in that kayak seat. You want to make sure that it's a comfortable seat. Making sure the seat best suits your body type. There's small seats, there's wider seats, there's seats with lumbar support. You can get added cushions. Kayak cushion, for example, would be a great resource. Things like that you can pad that seat up. But if you can start right out of the gate with a kayak seat that is comfortable, something that you're able to sit in for long periods of time, that's got to be on the list of things you need to know before purchasing. Question number 3. How will the kayak be used? Depending on how you plan to use the kayak should play a major role in purchasing. Paddle, pedal, or motorize can all factor into this. Whether you plan on just fishing on a river, you may not need that motorized vessel on a river. You may want to go more paddle. You may want to just stick with the pedals. If you're going out on a smaller body of water, what type of kayak best suits that small body of water versus needing a more seaworthy craft on a bigger body of water? These are all things that you need to think of before purchasing. How am I going to use this kayak? What do I like to fish? How am I going to use that and adapt to my fish liking? So question number 3 is a good one. How am I going to use that kayak? Question number 4, what features do I need? Now, this is such a wide variety. It's really hard to answer that question. What features do I need? Well, this could mean a number of things for people. If you're just wanting to leisure kayak, but you need a place to store that paddle, if the kayak doesn't have a specific spot for you to keep your paddle, you may need a kayak paddle mount, something like that. If you're looking to add sonars or electronics, you need to know if they have a track, something that's easily mountable so you don't have to screw and drill holes into that kayak. Does it have a transducer port, something that's easy to wire through that hull? all things that you can kind of take a look at before you purchase if you already have in mind what you're going to be adding to that kayak as far as accessories. Another thing to look at is how you're going to transport that kayak. Are you going to be loading it into bed of a truck? Are you going to have to roof load this? Or are you going to be able to put it on a trailer? That could determine what type of kayak you need to purchase. If you're going to be roof loading a kayak, obviously you don't want to go out and buy the heaviest, bulkiest kayak you can get because you're going to have a terrible time taking that down and back up on the roof. If you're able to put it on a trailer, then maybe a bigger kayak is the way to go because you have the ease of access of that trailer loading. So what features do I need and how am I going to transport that kayak? Now, question number 5 is, can you test drive it? It's few and far between where you can find retailers that allow you to test drive the kayak before you purchase. So do your research. Maybe find a dealer that offers you to take that kayak out on the water before you buy it. I think all experts would agree if you're able to test drive it before you buy it, that is the way to go. So as you're searching to where to purchase this kayak, keep that in mind. Once you have one picked out, are you able to go test drive that before you purchase it? That can make a huge difference. Just no different than test driving a car before you buy it or checking out a home before you buy it. It's always good to get a little bit of a preview before you actually put the money down. Make sure you're going to like that investment. All right, folks. Again, when you're checking out new kayaks, there are so many makes and models and manufacturers out there. Always refer back to that starting guide. At least those 5 questions will help get you on the right track, hopefully, and get you in the right mindset before you go out and purchase something that you're going to end up regretting later. So do your due diligence, do your research, and go out and make a solid, sound investment. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. That is going to be your 10-to-1 update today, folks. Stay safe and tight lines, everybody.